So D23 just wrapped up earlier this week, the Ultimate Disney Fan Experience, and we have honestly tons and tons of announcements, so that is a positive. Looks like awesome lands, new attractions are coming, and this is honestly across the globe. It looks like most Disney parks are going to get something new. Honestly, some very exciting stuff was detailed, but now let's actually see what develops. We have had previous D23s that are kind of just like blue sky, just very broad, very indescript items. They did detail some very exciting stuff, but, you know, let's actually see what develops from this.
It is Disney we're talking about.
Exactly. That Villains Land sure looks cool. Can't wait to check that out in 8, 9, 10 years. You know, whenever. Their schedule, you know. So.
Hopefully it's a little sooner than that.
I hope so.
But today we're going to be discussing an expansion that's going to be happening much sooner at Disney World. Also at the Magic Kingdom, we have Cars Land coming.
Vroom vroom.
So what we know is the land will consist of 2 rides. One for smaller kids that the entire family can enjoy. They didn't really go much into that. The main attraction is going to be a Radiator Springs racer type ride, but they're retheming it to like icy mountains, like forests, mud pits, geysers, and all of that looks pretty freaking cool. Don't you think?
I think so too. I like the all-terrain aspect of it. I mean, if you're going with cars, you might as well go all out.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm very glad they didn't just copy and paste the ride from California, because this is the Magic Kingdom and they should get original concepts all the time.
Agreed.
This is the park. There should be no clones at Magic Kingdom. Tron.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was going to say it just as sarcastically as you did.
And that one took quite a bit. But anyways.
And although the California Radiator Springs honestly feels like it would fit very well into the Frontier theme, I'm glad that we're not just doing a copy and paste here. This is Magic Kingdom. It should be original content. It should be original rides. This is the main land.
And also the style of Radiator Springs and Big Thunder Mountain, like it's exactly the same. Yeah, having all of that canyon, desert next to each other, it's too much.
It makes sense, but it might be a little lazy in the end. So during the D23 presentation, Josh D'Amaro, he's the park's chairman, did mention the Cars Land. He failed to leave out precisely where it would be going into the park, and we think that that was on purpose.
So because of all this talk of Beyond Big Thunder Mountain over the last months, years, like many people, we assumed it was going to go Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, Disney World has so much land up there, it just makes sense. So we've now learned that it's not going there, but I don't think Disney's not going to do nothing with this section of land up here. I hope that I'm wrong here, but it just sounds so Disney to me that they would build like a DVC hotel with an entry gate to Villains Land right there for them, and
right at that prime real estate.
Yeah, and if they weren't planning that already, they're probably planning it now because I just put the plan into fruition. Whoops.
That's his fault if this happens, so you know who to blame later.
It's such a Disney thing to do, right?
It is. You know, one more hotel, why not?
Yeah, like the 100 hotels on property were enough.
101.
They need one more hotel, definitely. That's what they need to do.
So if this isn't going beyond Thunder Mountain, where shall it go? They couldn't possibly be thinking of removing Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America, could they? Well, guess what? That's definitely what they're doing. In classic Disney fashion, they're just ripping out the hearts of so many fans. And of course, they released this concept art safely after D23 had already ended.
Smart move.
Yeah, sneaky though.
Yeah, I would not want to be booed by thousands of Disney fanatics either.
Live on camera. No, we'll wait for that later.
Yeah, so that was smart on their part, for sure.
So this concept art does show that they would be removing Tom Sawyer's Island, the Rivers of America, and the Liberty Bell steamboat. And people are losing their freaking minds over this, to say it plainly.
Yeah, losing their minds might be an understatement here, honestly.
Yeah.
We've got everyone screaming at Disney now. You're ruining the Magic Kingdom. Walt would be rolling in his grave if he knew this was going on.
My life is over.
Yeah, well, you've ruined our family. And look, we agree that it should have been built beyond Big Thunder Mountain. And keep the Rivers of America, keep Tom Sawyer Island, keep the steamboat. Which I think they could have done a lot with that steamboat, honestly. They could have upgraded that, maybe added like a Tiana's character dining experience up there.
That would be really cool. I would like that.
I'll tell you what, that would draw a lot of people.
Yeah, that would be really unique and fun.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to happen now.
No. Say goodbye to that idea.
So yeah, that idea could have potentially worked. It's not going to happen now, and honestly, people just need to get over it. This really is not that big of a deal like all these Disney adults are trying to make it out to be. And if Walt should be rolling in his grave about anything, it's that crazy animatronic that they're putting of him out at Disneyland just to showcase like a cash cow.
That's terrifying. If I were his family, I would be upset about that, I think.
They are.
Yeah. I do not want to see that of like my great-grandfather or something. That would be a nightmare.
That's a different topic for a different video that we will probably never make.
Exactly. No, too much. I don't want to be staring at that long. No.
I'm not getting into that, no.
In the grand scheme of things, like who's truly going to the park for Tom Sawyer's Island? Who's going to the park for the boat ride? No one. I mean, they might be fun to do while you're there, but it's not a crowd drawer and it's not a moneymaker. So I think that's kind of why Disney thinks that we can develop this area.
Exactly. And we were just there back in March, and it did not cross our minds for even a second to even attempt to go to Tom Sawyer Island or ride the boat.
We had priorities, and it did not include the boat ride. I'm sorry.
There are bigger and better things to do there, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And yeah.
If we had infinite time and if we were like pass holders, perhaps, but that's not the case for most people going.
And even the pass holders, how often are you honestly going to Tom Sawyer Island when you're there?
Exactly.
Once a year? Maybe?
Well, you know what will draw in crowds and will generate money? Cars. It may not be our favorite IP, but a lot of people love it, and I can see people being attracted to this new area of the park. I don't think it's a bad thing to take an area of the park that is a little stagnant and put some new life into it.
Exactly.
And sure, perhaps Cars doesn't exactly fit into Frontierland, but we don't really think Tiana's does either. And I almost think the word frontier is kind of malleable. It can just mean like a new experience. So I'm okay with like being abstract about it. Like, I don't think that this is going to ruin anyone's life the way people are claiming.
Yeah, the 1860s vision Walt had of Frontierland is unfortunately gone.
It can evolve. It's okay.
And listen, I remember as a kid running around the forts and caves on Tom Sawyer Island, and it is very nostalgic. I understand that. But I'm sorry, it's time for an upgrade. Every time you check the Disney app, Tom Sawyer is at a 5-minute wait. I think the longest I've ever seen it was like at 10 minutes. And it's the same exact thing with the boat. Like we were saying earlier, people are not coming here for those attractions.
That's a lot of land that isn't really being utilized to its full potential. What we are concerned about though is the like utter and complete removal of water from the park. I think having a water feature is a good idea. I think the buildings and the attractions around it provide really nice sight lines. It's beautiful to look at. It's comforting to look at. So the utter removal of it is a little stark. The concept art doesn't really show any water of any kind. And at this theme park specifically in Orlando, it does get really hot. And even if it's just the illusion of cooling you down or the illusion of just being in a cooler place, I think that's important to give people. Give them a relaxing area to hang out at. And it does seem like they are completely removing that out of the park, which could be problematic.
Yeah, it's like so refreshing seeing the aesthetics of the water out there.
It's
and
pretty.
Like it is nice. And yeah, as far as sight lines go, I don't really want to be waiting in line for the Haunted Mansion and I turn to the left and I see a bunch of cartoon cars having the time of their lives, you know? Like it just kind of takes you out of the immersion, and that is kind of unfortunate.
I do get that, but I feel like the last few times we've been at this park, it's so busy. It is people to people to people that I couldn't even be bothered with looking around. I'm just so encased in a wall of humanity that I'm just trying to get on this ride. So it really just depends. Like, again, if you're a pass holder and you have all the free time in the world to go exploring, this is a hit. To people who are just going once every few years, once in a lifetime, I don't know if it'll really make a difference to them.
And all that being said, we don't actually know what this is going to look like at the end of the day. When was the last time that the concept art was the final product?
Exactly.
If ever.
Mm-hmm. I see people going like nuts over like the Villain's Land and stuff with all these like literally like kilometer high mountains and
that
just
Villain's
like
Land concept art, that's blue sky. That is
Yeah.
blue sky. They just put that up there because of Epic Universe, Dark
Fantastical.
Universe. They're like, we just need to put something up there. They have no plans in motion for that yet.
It's not gonna look like that. It never does.
Absolutely.
Sounds fun, but like everybody chill.
Yeah, so this concept art for Cars Land is not going to be the final product, and
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
and hopefully they do keep some water. We do see some water and beautiful trees for sightlines. I don't think it's just going to be bang, bang, bang. Like, I think they're going to try to separate these lands a little bit and try to keep the immersion and theming. It's the Magic Kingdom. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think they will screw it up that bad, honestly.
Nothing is certain right now, and they don't want to completely trash an entire area. So it's just hard to say for certain 100% what is actually going on.
Right.
Ultimately, this is not the end of the world. It's a good thing. We want the parks to evolve. We don't want them to be stagnant. And where was everybody when they were ruining Epcot or like putting in Galaxy's Edge with like no original IP content, just completely new stuff for like newer audiences? Where was the outrage then?
Yeah, like people are crying way more over this when they've literally been destroying Epcot over the last decade. People weren't freaking out this much about the Galactic Star Cruiser. And that thing was an absolute nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow this is worse, like.
Construction on this expansion, or just retheming, if you will, of the area is slated to begin in early 2025. And it's nice to have like a physical date thrown out at D23. I feel like that's something that was missing in the last few. So it's nice to have something concrete.
Yeah, they actually had to put some dates on some of these things because of the past and all these empty promises.
You can't just say maybe, someday.
So, you still have your chance to go see Tom Sawyer Island.
Get there if you care so much.
Ride the steamboat. Yeah, if you love it so much, you still have
marathon it.
you have at least half a year to get out there and just marathon them.
Prove it.
You won't because they don't draw people in. Sorry.
Exactly. They wouldn't be changing this if this was an attraction that millions of people visited.
Yeah, it's just come on, people.
Chill
out. They moved their favorite garbage can in Magic Kingdom to a different spot, and people start losing their minds, right? Like,
can't cope. Not with the change. The garbage can was there when I was a girl, and they moved it.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Our thoughts on the Cars expansion coming to Magic Kingdom. Do you agree with our points? Disagree?
Are you enraged? Are you enraged at us now?
Are you mad at us?
Please let us know.
Because we're making too much sense here? Is there a secret reason that we don't know about why everyone's losing their mind? Let us know.
Is there buried treasure there? Should we care more? Let us know.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time on Adventure Parks.